know this, but apparently all of the JetBlue flights in LaGuardia are out of Terminal B, except the flights to Boston, which are out of Terminal A. Guess who went to Terminal B, had 20 minutes left after I'd gone through security before my flight started boarding, and then realized that I had to actually go to Terminal A to get to Boston on JetBlue. Yeah, I didn't vlog that part because it was very hectic. It was very like crazy, and I was way too caught up in thinking like, oh shit, like am I gonna make this flight to actually even begin to consider taking out my camera or like pulling out my phone, like vlogging it. It is surprisingly warm for February. Like I was wearing my jacket earlier and it was way too hot. So I have taken that off now. But yeah, okay, let's go into the museum and meet Michelle. This is like made out of paint, like it's sculpture with paint. That is really interesting. Like probably like discards from his palette knife. This is the old State House where the Boston Tea Party used to meet.
sweetheart. You're a very cute boy. Yes, you are. You're pretty. You are. You're very pretty. Oh, we're a little bit embarrassed. I'm sorry. Should I not have said that you're pretty?
Boston was nice, but it is actually really good to be home. Yeah, with the crazy airport thing, that was like really high stress. And then my flight last night actually was delayed by like 3 hours. So normally from Boston to LaGuardia, it's like a 45-ish minute flight, but I was supposed to get home by 7. Yeah, my plane was supposed to land at 7 and take off by like 6, and it didn't take off until like 8:30, so I didn't get back until like late. So yeah, it was just kind of exhausting, the whole like traveling experience yesterday with like the weather happening and stuff. Like getting to the airport in Boston is actually super easy because you could just take the T and then they have a bus line that takes you straight to the airport, which is really, really convenient. In New York City, it's a little more complicated because there are like, you know, more airports and there's no direct subway line to any of the airports, which makes it a little bit of a hassle to get kind of to any of them, really. But the shoes that I was wearing did not really end up working out, so I flew back a little bit earlier in the day that I normally would have, or like I intended to fly back earlier. Like I booked an earlier flight than I ordinarily would have, just because like my feet were just killing me, and the shoes that I was wearing I normally wear for like stuff around the house and like errands and stuff, but for whatever reason, just like wearing them when I was doing lots of walking in the city made them just give my feet terrible blisters. So I'm taking it easy today, just trying to like recover, I guess, and like heal a little bit, because it does like kind of hurt to walk a little bit right now. But we did start a new sketchbook just because I didn't want to bring the old one. It was just clunky, didn't have any pages left. So I really enjoyed working in this one thus far. This is a Strathmore Mixed Media sketchbook. I think I mentioned that before. And I really liked the Boston Art Museum of Fine Art. I thought it was really good. The Monet exhibit was incredible, first of all. Like, that was just truly an amazing exhibit, and I'm so glad that I went, if only just to see that. But yeah. So here's the plan. I really want to finish my other sketchbook, the one that is my current sketchbook, this one, this bad boy right here, and I just have a couple of pages left. So my plan is to work on that a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow, and then this vlog is going to sort of be like Boston and just like painting and wrapping up this sketchbook. And then I want to do a sketchbook tour maybe like next week or something. That's my intention. Anyway, we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I'm going to get out my gouache and my watercolors and we'll get to it. I woke up this morning and I checked my analytics, as I normally do, despite not really liking the fact that I do that, and I saw that we hit 8,000 subscribers this morning. That's incredible. Just thank you guys so much for all of the support. I recently hit 35 subscribers over on Patreon. I'm making $100 a month now from that, and it's so cool to see all of the goals that I've set coming true, all of the dreams that I've had coming true. And for those of you that are just starting out, I'm sure that sort of my recent growth has felt like a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's come really fast. We've grown so much in just a couple of months, which I know that like I am still fairly small in the grand scheme of things, but to me it's like holy shit, you know what I mean? But in this voiceover, while we work on this sketchbook, I want to talk a little bit about how to keep growing when you feel like you're not growing fast enough. Like how to find the motivation to keep going. Because I worked at this channel for
years, over a year, about a year and a half before we really hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to talk about that really quick, then we'll transition to talking about these sketchbook spreads and what I've been learning from this sketchbook. But so I started this channel, as I'm sure you guys know already, in May or so of 2020. I had just finished my first semester of remote learning. I didn't realize that it was going to turn into 3 semesters of remote learning, but it did. And I had been stewing in this group house with some friends and my boyfriend and some acquaintances, and I didn't really like that living situation. It wasn't ideal for me, and I didn't really have a creative outlet. I had my sketchbook and some gouache and some watercolors, but I didn't have oils. And at the time, I was just really into oil paints. Oil paints for me were sort of the pinnacle of my creative outlet, the thing that I just loved doing the most. I was still very much a beginner. I made a lot of terrible paintings before I started this channel. Don't get me wrong, they were all like important. They all led me to be where I am today, but they were bad. And I got out of that living situation, and I had been thinking about starting a channel, and as soon as I got home, I started planning out this channel and my videos and like creating brand assets, thinking of like my colors, the fonts that I wanted to have in my videos, like everything. Okay, like seriously everything. That's the last detail. And I made the first video, which by the way was an absolute ordeal because I was filming everything on my phone and trying to edit it on a 7-year-old computer, and I lost about half of the footage that I wanted to use in the video partially the way through editing, which was incredibly frustrating. I almost quit then and there, but I pushed through it and I published that first video, and it had absolutely 0 views. No one watched it. It was a bad video, but I waited a couple weeks. I was working a part-time job in tech support at the time. I had an honors thesis on my plate that I would later drop and just do a regular thesis instead. And when I moved in with Drake and his parents in Alaska, I gained more consistency and more experience. I started posting more videos, and they were still all terrible. You can go back and watch some of them. I have privated some of them, but a lot of them are still up, so you guys can go and watch them if you want, and they were bad. Like, they were just bad videos. I didn't understand white balance, or how to like set up a shot, how to talk to the camera. I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I was recording audio or video for that matter. I was a mess, frankly. But the more videos I made, the more I improved over time, and I slowly began to gain my footing as a creator. And I started in May of 2020, and I think I hit about 100 subscribers in October or November of 2020. That's a lot of months, by the way, of just basically getting no ground. And I think by June or July of 2021, I hit 500 subscribers. So it had been a whole year and I had only gained 500 subscribers. But I felt like I was finally comfortable on camera. I had made so many videos, close to maybe 40, 50 videos at that point. I'd done vlogs, short films, tutorials, chatty videos like this one, and just so much content. Studio tours, studio makeovers, like everything under the sun I had tried basically. But I just kept working at it. I just kept trying new things, and I don't know really 100% what kept me going. I think a part of it was just I had gotten to, and I don't know 100% what kept me going while I was experiencing basically like no growth, but I think a part of it was just the fact that I had gotten into the habit of creating. I just told myself that I was going to show up, that no matter how long it took, I was going to take this seriously, because I knew that I didn't want to work in politics after I graduated. I was working toward the completion of this degree in political science. I was minoring in philosophy and studio art, and I loved philosophy, I loved studio art, and I wanted to make a career out of doing what I loved. And I knew that while I was passionate about politics, while I really wanted to change the world, while I had these lofty ideals, it was just really downtrodden to work in that. It really drained me of all of my energy. I was working in really serious fields over really disheartening topics, like stuff that I literally can't say on YouTube what they were because I don't want this video to get demonetized. It was really heavy stuff, like really heavy stuff. It was about a lot of violence and a lot of hate and around the events that happened on January 6th, basically. And it was intense research. It was very rewarding to dive deep into it, but it just really drained me of all of the energy that I had. And I didn't want that to be the rest of my life. I wanted to do things that I felt fulfilled by and that I was actually happy about. And I wanted work to not haunt me when I got home in that visceral, emotional way. So I started the channel as a hobby, but I knew that if I worked at it long enough, it would eventually have the potential to become a career and a lifeline and a means of financial support to support my creative practice. And it could be the foundation of a creative career and a business if only I worked hard enough and just let it happen. Obviously, none of this is guaranteed, right? You are not guaranteed to become a content creator full-time if you start a channel. It does take a lot of work. And I think one of the really important parts of success is actually being able to be very honest with yourself about how much time you can devote to it, how motivated you really are, and how good your content really is. But I think it's just really important to be honest with yourself and reflect and just have a very honest conversation about your skill set and where you are and actually how motivated you are to pursue this as a career, because it does take a lot of work and I don't think it's for everyone, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to shame you guys into pursuing career as a YouTuber or anything. I genuinely think that a career as an artist does come with some financial instability built into it. You know what I mean? You are not guaranteed a paycheck. A lot of people that I know are far more comfortable working 9-to-5 jobs and not pursuing their passion. They are not living to work, they are working to live. Their job is a means to an end, basically. And that's fine. Working a corporate career, that is all well and good. It's just not for me. I'm not judging anyone that does that, but I knew I was always going to have a problem working for someone else, and I am admittedly a big control freak. I like to have control over lots of stuff. That's why I'm a big planner. That's why I plan out my future. That's why I have all these Notion templates. I just obsessively plan for the future, and I think a lot of it is born out of a distinct anxiety of uncertainty. Uncertainty really scares me. And I know that's a bit of a contradiction, right? I was just talking about how there is financial instability built into a career as a content creator, but you can mitigate that by being a planner. You can mitigate that by having passive income streams, by being very motivated and very driven to have a very robust business. I haven't opened my online shop yet, but I am still making money from my creative practice and my content, and I do occasionally get comments from people being like, you're not an artist because you don't sell your artwork. But I am an artist. I don't have the resources or the space yet to open my online shop, but I'm working on that. So finding the motivation to keep going, I think you just have to really want it. I know that sounds very short-sighted, and obviously I am very lucky to be in a position where I can pursue this as a career. I have a lovely partner who supports me, but before this, I was a full-time college student. I was a teaching assistant, and I had a part-time job, and I had tons of stuff on my plate, but I was still able to make time for this. It was chaotic. I was still very much learning and improving, but I was still able to post videos despite having an incredibly busy schedule, as I think if something is really, really important to you, you will rearrange your life to make time for it. You know what I mean? We don't, of course, all have the same 24 hours. Everyone has different obligations, but if you can just find a posting schedule that works really well for you, be that once a week, once every 2 weeks, or once a month, you will gradually make progress toward your end goal. And that's, I think, really important. But everything takes time. And I think the nice part about YouTube is that the content has such a longer lifespan. The videos that you make, especially if they are evergreen, if they are search focused, have a lifespan of years rather than days, weeks, or hours, and that has a lot of power. It means that every single video that you make is an investment in your future career and a portfolio of content that will continue to rack up views even if you stop posting, even if you take a break. After I did Vlogmas, I took a 2-week break at the end of December and the beginning of January, and my channel was still growing in that period, and that's because I had this big library of search-focused content to help keep my channel growing and alive despite the fact that I wasn't posting for those 2 weeks. So I think finding the motivation to keep going when you are not growing is just having a very future-focused, growth-focused mindset. I hope that makes sense. I honestly have no idea how long I've been rambling about this for, but having that future-focused mindset is really important, considering every single video that you make as an investment in your future toward your goals. It doesn't matter if that video doesn't initially succeed, it doesn't matter if it doesn't get any views at first, because it could get views in the future, and it could continue to rack up views over time. Some of my most popular videos right now were like dead in the water for months after posting, and then suddenly out of nowhere, they started like really taking off. And I have no idea why that happened, but it is just a time and tested part of YouTube's algorithm. I post a video, it does terribly at first, and then 6 months later it's suddenly my most popular video and it has like, tens of thousands of views. I have no idea why this happens, but it does pretty consistently happen. So every video here is an investment, and if you aren't growing at first, just keep at it, keep posting content. Eventually, if you put years into it and it never ends up happening, just know that you tried. You put all of your effort into it and you really gave it a good shot, and I think that's really important. The reason that I am doing all of this, that I am still posting despite the fact that I'm not a full-time creator right now, is because I don't know if I would be able to live with myself if I had quit, like partially is because I don't know if I would have been able to live with myself if I had quit partially the way through. If I hadn't seen this out to its inevitable conclusion, maybe I will crash and burn in 6 months, or maybe I will be like, I don't know, fulfilling my wildest dreams. I have no idea, but I wanted to give this career a fair shot, and I think 2 years of posting consistently, of putting as much effort into this as my lifestyle allows and my schedule allows, trying to improve as much as I can, it really allows me to just try and do my best. And if it doesn't end up working out, I will be content with the fact that I have done my best, that I really gave it a fair shot. So anyway, yeah, that is my advice for all of you who are thinking about starting channels or have started channels already, that are in this process of the grind, basically. You know what I mean? Like posting, not getting any views, posting again. I really think that like search-focused content is still the way to grow for beginners. Trying to make as good of a video as you possibly can, trying to post as often as you can. Don't burn yourself out, but do try and have a consistent schedule, and just try it, for 2 years. Just give it a go, see what happens, and you might be really surprised as to how successful you can be with just 2 years of posting consistently. But now that we have talked about all of that, let's talk about these sketchbook spreads. So we did do those strawberries, and now we are on another spread. We did a little bit of these flower paintings, some of these. I'm still pretty new at painting flowers, but I don't know, I'm giving it a shot. I don't want my artistic abilities to be limited by subject matter in any way. think that's part of the reason that I'm just like dabbling in so many different things, that I'm like trying all of these different subject matter. I want to have this very robust creative practice and this creative knowledge. Like Sargent, for example, spent his entire career painting portraits, and when he finally quit that and started painting landscapes, he was really hindered by all of the practice he had racked up with portraiture. He found it really difficult to transition into painting landscapes, and so I want to learn from his mistakes and that experience and try and just do a lot of different things, trying to build my skill set in a bunch of different areas sort of all at once, and never focus too much in any given subject area, because I do want to be a very multidisciplinary and multifaceted artist. I want to be able to paint whatever, basically, is sort of what I'm saying here. But we do those flower paintings. Now we're doing this very quick little simple sketch of this house seen through this field of wildflowers. I thought this was a really gorgeous reference photo, and it was fun to just study the painting here and like experiment a little bit and just have fun with it. What I love about my sketchbook the most What I love about working in a sketchbook the most is the fact that it is a very open-ended, creative space where I can let myself be messy and hectic and just have fun and experiment. And my sketchbook is very chaotic. It doesn't have a lot of finished pieces, but I think I like that. I think I like having this like safe space to create where there are no expectations placed upon the end result, where I can just let loose and do whatever. And I'm really hoping that I'm able to create and foster that same kind of vibe or environment, I guess, in my new sketchbook. And my new sketchbook, by the way, will be a Strathmore mixed media soft cover sketchbook. We'll start that in a little bit here, coming up in the next couple of weeks, but next week we will do a sketchbook tour. And this video isn't sponsored, but I have recently signed a sponsorship deal with Koji. Koji is like a link in bio, link aggregator sort of service, and over the next couple of months I will be doing a bunch of videos partnered with them. They were super kind to reach out to me and ask if they could support this channel, and I said yes, because I'm never gonna say no to money. So I'm really excited for that, and I think the sponsorship is going to be really fun. I think the sponsorship is going to be really fun. They have asked for me to make a couple of tutorials for their service that will be posted on this channel, and when I do that, it will be a bonus video for the week, basically. I never want like the ad videos that some creators do, or like the heavily featured videos, to interrupt normal content. So when I make an ad for Koji, for example, it will be an extra video in the schedule. So you'll have a regular video that might be sponsored, it might not be, but there will also be an extra video for the week if a sponsor wants a like very fully integrated video. So I think that'll work pretty well. I think the art community as a whole always seems very supportive when it comes to creators taking sponsorship deals, and I will have some pretty exciting news to share with you guys in that video. And I think I've mentioned this before, but we are fully on track to be a full-time creator by the end of the year, but probably in the next couple of months, which is even more exciting. So anyway, yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, a great way to do that would be to support me over on Patreon. On Patreon, you get a bunch of different rewards. There are exclusive full effort videos, like a couple of vlogs over on Patreon. I think a couple of hours now of exclusive content and video walkthroughs. If you're interested in learning how much money I made in January and how I reached 7K, that information is over on Patreon. We also have podcast episodes, reference packs, and Notion templates. And the tiers start at about $3 a month, but if you want to get fewer rewards and pay less but still support the channel, you can become a member of the channel, clicking that join button right next to subscribe. And essentially, if you click that button, you get access to all of my live stream replays. That's hours and hours of content, only going to be expanded in the future. But you'll get access to all of those live stream replays, as well as a 15% off discount in my online shop, where I have more Notion templates and my artist YouTuber workbook. And let's see, you also get comment reply priority, so I will be making a concerted effort to reply to your comments over anyone else's first. And you get these really cute sub badges and custom emotes to use in comments and on my live streams. So I've sort of wanted to keep my YouTube memberships, which is a sort of live stream support network, and my Patreon kind of separate. I think they're very different rewards, and they're for kind of different people. So if you like my live streams and you want to support the stream, memberships are a great way to do that. But if you want lots of different rewards and you want to support my work in a more substantial way, Patreon is a great option for that too. So different options, different people, but I think they all sort of make sense and play well together. But yeah, that is basically the end of this video. We have spent so much time together chatting and making content in this sketchbook. I am really looking forward to showing you guys all of the spreads in my new sketchbook tour. So if you want to see that, make sure that you click that subscribe button and turn notifications on. And oh my god, so many call to actions. I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you have a great, amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.